Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. 3 Steelers in danger of losing their starting spots after Week 3. Apart from dealing with a plethora of injuries early on, the Pittsburgh Steelers couldn't ask for a better start to their season. A T.J. Watt-led defense dominated in the second half of Week 3 against the LA Chargers to help Mike Tomlin's team advance to 3-0. Still, there's always room for improvement. While the team had a strong performance collectively, there were several players who didn't contribute to the cause in Week 3. These 3 Steelers could be in danger of losing their starting jobs if things don't improve soon. OG Spencer Anderson. You might not have noticed Spencer Anderson during the broadcast of the Steelers vs. Chargers game, but he stood out in a bad way when you throw the All-22 film on. Anderson had numerous missed assignments and particularly struggled as a run blocker. After getting banged up in this contest, rookie Mason McCormick entered the game at left guard and things seemed to improve. Anderson hasn't offered much in 3 games, and if Isaac Seumalo isn't ready to return from his pectoral injury in Week 4, the Steelers could consider benching Anderson for McCormick as early as this Sunday against the Colts. W.R. Van Jefferson. It was addition by subtraction for the Pittsburgh Steelers at the wide receiver position when Van Jefferson left the game with an injury after 11 snaps. In his first 2 games of the season, Jefferson offered almost nothing in the receiving game while struggling as a blocker. Calvin Austin is never going to be a strong blocker at his size, 5 feet 7 inches 3/4 foot, 170 pounds, but he offered a spark in the passing game, turning 5 targets into 95 yards and a touchdown. Austin's signature play was a 55-yard catch and run in the second half. With outstanding speed and ability after the catch, the Steelers should name Austin the WR2 until they see what they have in rookie Roman Wilson. Jefferson's lack of playmaking ability could have him falling out of favor quickly in Pittsburgh. CB Dante Jackson. Dante Jackson's starting job is safer than the other 2 players on this list. However, he's coming off a forgettable game against the Chargers and proved to be one of the lone weak spots on an otherwise spectacular defense. Jackson allowed 3 catches on 4 targets for 37 yards, a passer rating of 103.1, while missing a tackle in this contest. His unimpressive game in coverage against the Chargers resulted in a 44.0 overall grade from Pro Football Focus. We're not worried about Jackson yet, and his biggest competition, Corey Trice, injured his hamstring early in Week 3. But if Jackson has a few more games like this, the Steelers could look someone they can trust opposite Joey Porter Jr. in the secondary. The discourse around the Steelers' quarterback room from the offseason onwards has been many things. Exhausting, biased, pessimistic, optimistic, etc. There were plenty of Russell Wilson truthers and Justin Fields apologists alike, but none of that matters now. With Wilson still nursing his calf injury suffered at the beginning of training camp, Justin Fields has gotten his opportunity to be the starting QB. All he has done is have the best start to a season of his career and the best start by a Steelers QB since 2020 when Ben Roethlisberger guided the team to an 11-0 start. It may be only 3 games, and the defense deserves much of the credit, but a 3-0 start seemed impossible for a team with Fields under center after his failed stint in Chicago. Instead, he has reinvented himself as a player and more importantly as a passer, playing with far more precision and timing than he ever showed as a Bear. He is protecting the football with just a single interception, on a play where the ball ricocheted wildly in the air. He is going through his progressions with more confidence and speed, keeping the offense on schedule. Everything about his play seems to be at least a little better than it ever was before, and that growth has earned him the right to stay the starter even when Wilson is healthy. Despite the hype around the start of Justin Fields' career as a Steeler, it would feel wrong not to mention how unfortunate Russell Wilson's time with the team has been. Even people like myself who wanted to see Fields be the starting QB didn't want it to happen because of an injury. The fact that Wilson's calf injury came while pushing a sled was peculiar at best, especially seeing we are in week 3 and he still is dealing with it. If and when he is healthy, Mike Tomlin will have to do something no coach likes to do, benching a player because of an injury. It won't be known for certain how Tomlin will handle the QB position once Wilson is good to go, but it would be potentially catastrophic to remove Fields if he continues to play at this level. He is doing everything asked of him and exactly what Tomlin has preached that he wants from his QB. He expected that to be Wilson, but life moves fast in the NFL. This is Fields' team now, and even Wilson likely knows it. Pittsburgh Steelers TE wearing large brace after sustaining knee injury. Pittsburgh Steelers tight end MyCole Pruitt walked through the locker room on Monday in a significant knee brace that would not allow his right knee to straighten. The device heavily resembled the one that Troy Fautanu wore in the summer after spraining his MCL, but Pruitt did not wear the brace last week, just a sleeve on that knee. It is unknown just how long Pruitt will be out for, but that brace suggests it will be a bit of time before the veteran gets back on the field. Pruitt missed the team's game against the Los Angeles Chargers and could miss more with the injury, but Rodney Williams and Connor Hayward stepped up in his place to get more snaps. Without Pruitt, Darnell Washington and Pat Freiermuth saw even more significant snap shares. Freiermuth played over 80% of the snaps, with Pruitt on the sideline, a season high. Arthur Smith's offense loves using multiple tight ends, so Williams and Hayward will continue to see their roles increase with Pruitt on the sidelines. The Steelers have 5 tight ends on their active roster, and even when Pruitt returns, it might stay that way since Williams is a key cog on the Steelers' special teams unit. Pittsburgh Steelers could trade Russell Wilson, insider says. Could the Pittsburgh Steelers end up trading Russell Wilson to a new team if they name Justin Fields the starter? ESPN's Adam Schefter floated a scenario on Monday while joining the Pat McAfee show that would see Wilson move to the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are in dire straits, with starter Tua Tagovailoa on injured reserve after suffering a concussion and backup Skylar Thompson sustaining a chest injury in his first start. Schefter now sees Wilson as someone who could cure many of Miami's ills. I would call Pittsburgh, Schefter said. Whether the Steelers would even want to trade Wilson remains to be seen. It was reported that Wilson had a no-trade clause worked into his contract when he signed it, but if Fields is named the starter, Wilson could want to waive that so he could play elsewhere. On the other hand, Wilson seems happy in Pittsburgh and would be an excellent backup if the Steelers were to make him the backup. Fields does not have a perfect slate of health in his NFL career, and should Fields go down with an ailment, Wilson would be right back into the starting role. There are a lot of factors to take into this one, including the fact that Wilson remains less than 100% while dealing with a calf strain. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Russell Wilson? Leave your opinion in the comments.